So now let us discuss about the thickest nerve of our body, that is the sciatic nerve. Okay, so it is in its upper part. It forms a band like about 2 centimeter wide. It begins in the pelvis mainly. You can see the cervicopelvic bone. So it begins in the pelvis and terminates at the superior angle of popliteal fossa. Here, it terminates into two branches. One is a tibial nerve. One is a common peroneal nerve. Okay, so it it is mainly dividing into the tibial nerve. It looks like a straight continuation, whereas common peroneal nerve it's going towards the side of the fibula, and this common peroneal nerve is also called as common fibular nerve. Okay, so now let us understand what is the origin and root value. Actually, it is the largest branch of the sacral plexus. Its root value is like L4, L5, S1, S2, S3. Okay, so from L4 to S3. And it is mainly made up of two parts. One is a tibial part and one is a common peroneal part. Okay, so the tibial part is mainly formed by ventral division of anterior primary rami. Actually, I will show that plexus and we'll try to understand it. So here you can see this diagram. This is actually the lumbosacral plexus. So as I said, the sciatic nerve is formed from L4 to S3, right? So it is its root value. It's actually largest sacral plexus. So it is mainly made up of two parts. One is a tibial part. You can see here this is a tibial component, and one is the common peroneal component. You can see this side. So this side, all common peroneal component side are the dorsal divisions, and the tibial component side, this are all the ventral divisions. Okay, so actually the tibial part is formed by ventral divisions of mainly L4, okay, L5 and S1 and S2 and S3. So these are all the ventral divisions. You can see the ventral divisions. They are together forming our sciatic nerve. And in the coming to the common peroneal part side, there are dorsal divisions which are coming from anterior primary rami of mainly L4. They are coming from L5 and they are coming from the S1. So all this are together forming R S1 and also S2. So these all together are forming our sciatic nerve. Okay, so you can see here the different other branches like nerve to quadratus femoris, nerve to obturator internus, pudendal nerve, pelvic splanchnic nerve, nerve to piriformis, inferior gluteal nerve, superior gluteal nerve, right? So these are all the different nerves. So this is how the sciatic nerve is formed. Now let us see the course and relations of sciatic nerve. So actually let us see in each part. So first we will go to the pelvis. So in the pelvis area, if you see, the nerve is lying in front of piriformis muscle. Okay, so for that we'll check out another diagram. In this diagram you can see this is the piriformis muscle, right there you can see clearly piriformis muscle. So in the pelvis it lies in front of piriformis muscle under the cover of the fascia. Okay, here. So this is in the pelvis. So coming to the gluteal region here. So in the gluteal region, the sciatic nerve enters the gluteal region by greater sciatic foramen. Okay, below the piriformis. It runs downward with a slight lateral convexity and passing between the ischial tuberosity and greater trochanter. So you can see a greater trochanter, this is ischial spine and this is ischial tuberosity. So between the ischial tuberosity and greater trochanter, it will pass. Okay, and it has relations like superficial or posterior. Posterior to this, you have the gluteus maximus muscle, posterior backside. Okay, so it is mainly having the gluteus maximum, and sometimes the posterior cutaneous nerve of thigh is also present. Okay, and deep or anteriorly, it is having the body of ischium. So you can understand anteriorly here it will have the body of ischium, and also it is having the nerve to quadratus femoris. You can see here this is quadratus femoris muscle. So for it, now the nerve to quadratus femoris is anterior, and also there is tendon of obturator internus. Okay, and there's also with the gemelli and quadratus femoris muscle, obturator externus muscle. So you can see obturator internus with two gemelli, quadratus femoris. Okay, so all these muscles are locating anterior to the sciatic nerve. And also there is branch of median circumflex femoral artery and the capsule of hip joint which lies deep to the There's all muscles, and also the upper transverse fibers of adductor magnus. You can see the upper transverse fibers of adductor magnus. All these are locating anterior to the our sciatic nerve. So coming to the medial side, so on the medial side you have inferior gluteal nerve. On the medial side you will have the inferior gluteal nerve, vessels, and sometimes you have posterior cutaneous nerve of thigh. So these are all the different relations of the sciatic nerve in the gluteal region. Next, coming to the thigh region. So here, so coming to the thigh region, in the thigh region sciatic nerve mainly enters the back of the thigh at the lower border of gluteus maximus. So the lower border of gluteus maximus, it goes back of the thigh, okay, and from there it runs vertically downwards up to superior angle of popliteal fossa at the junction of upper 2/3 and lower 1/3, okay, of the thigh. It terminates by dividing into the, here you can see, tibial nerve and common peroneal nerve, and the relations in the thigh are superficially or posteriorly to the sciatic nerve. It is crossed by long head of biceps femoris. So in this diagram it's not actually shown, but the long head of biceps femoris, you can see here the short head of biceps femoris, like that only. Yeah, here this is the long head of biceps femoris, so it is crossing it posteriorly, or you can say superficially, okay, and deep or anterior to it the nerve lies on adductor magnus. So you can see this is adductor magnus. On the adductor magnus now the sciatic nerve is present, and medially it is having the posterior cutaneous nerve of thigh here, and also the semimembranosus, semitendinosus muscles. You can see semitendinosus is green color, semimembranosus orange color. So these are present medial to the sciatic nerve. And if you see laterally, you will have the biceps femoris muscle, right? So you can see this is a short head and long head of biceps femoris. And the sciatic nerve is actually accompanied by a small companion artery, which is a branch of inferior gluteal artery, okay. So the artery runs along the sciatic nerve for some distance before sneaking into the substance. So sciatic nerve may divide into terminal branches anywhere above the usual level. So when the division occurs in the pelvis, then the tibial nerve passes through the greater sciatic foramen inferior to piriformis, but the common peroneal nerve pierces the piriformis, okay, to enter the gluteal region. Actually you can see normally it should terminate in the popliteal fossa, but sometimes the sciatic nerve may divide into common peroneal and tibial nerve in the at the pelvis region only. Then what happens, the tibial nerve actually follows the sciatic nerve way, but the common peroneal nerve pierces the piriform, okay, to enter the gluteal region. That thing you need to remember. Now coming to different branches of sciatic nerve, the sciatic nerve gives articular branches to the hip joint which arise in the gluteal region here, okay, and also it gives of course several muscular branches in the lower part of gluteal region or in upper part of thigh. Mainly the tibial part of sciatic nerve supplies semitendinosus, semimembranosus, long head of biceps femoris here you can see, right, and also it supplies a ischial head of adductor magnus muscle. So the common peroneal part supplies only the short head of biceps femoris. So this is very important to remember. Its muscular branches, especially tibial part, supplies all muscles, but the short head of biceps femoris is special. It is supplied by the common peroneal branch of sciatic nerve. Now let us discuss the clinical anatomy which is related to sciatic nerve. So mainly the compression of sciatic nerve against the femur. So here is the femur bone. So against the femur, if it is compressed or unusual stretching after sitting for a long time, may give a sleeping foot disease, okay. And also sometimes there will be a shooting pain along the cutaneous distribution of sciatic nerve, and especially its terminal branches. Chiefly the common peroneal is known as sciatica. So whenever you get a shooting pain along the common peroneal nerve, that is on the fibula side, means on the lateral side of your leg, on the posterior side especially, that is called as sciatica, okay. So pain usually begins in the gluteal region or even higher and radiates along the back of the thigh and lateral side of the leg to the dorsum of the foot. So from the lateral side of the leg, anytime you're getting pain along with the dorsum of foot, right, then that is of course sciatica. So this is usually due to the compression and irritation of one or more nerve roots forming sciatic nerve. If you see, it nerve roots are from L4 to S2, right? So any of that may get irritated and this may lead to this problem. So mainly the cause may be either osteoarthritis, lumbar disc prolapse, spondylosis, fibrosis, neuritis. Many causes are there. The sciatic nerve may be injured by penetrating wounds, dislocation of hip, fracture of pelvis. This results in loss of movements below the knee with the foot drop. So mainly below the knee, the loss of movements will be seen, and also there will be foot drop, sensory loss on back of thigh. The whole of leg, foot, except area is innervated by Zephanius nerve. Actually, this whole of posterior part of our muscles, hamstring muscles are supplied by sciatic nerve. So all those will get paralysis, but except foot, and the foot except the area innervated by Zephanius nerve. Zephanius nerve is branch of femur, right? Femur nerves, like it is coming from another branch. It's not of sciatic, so only that area will be spared. So in above knee amputations, companion artery of sciatic nerve is carefully isolated and ligated separately to avoid sharp bleeding that otherwise follows. Isolation of artery from all nerve fibers must be perfect, because ligation of nerve fibers with artery would be followed by severe pain in stomach. So actually, if you want to do any treatment over this sciatic component, as I said, along with the sciatic, now there is artery running. So if we try to do anything here, then the artery may undergo bleeding. So to avoid that, we need to be careful regarding this sciatic nerve treatment. So this is all about sciatic nerve. In the next video, we will discuss about arteries of back of thigh.